This is Mustache on Music, and from Union Duke, this is
Matt.
Ethan.
Then you set me off again. Go and set me off again. I'm alive when you come home. You turn me on as fast as you can.
First thing, so you guys are a folk band. What's with folk bands and beards? There has to be at least one in every single one.
There's two in ours.
Yeah, I noticed that. No mustaches.
That's true, no mustaches. I had a mustache for a small amount of time and just didn't work for me.
No.
It works well for you though. It's a good look on you.
You see these patches in this area here and here? This is about as beardy as I get. So.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a thing that's like because you are in a folk band you have to have a beard, but rather having a beard is more acceptable in folk music maybe.
Okay.
I don't know why, it just works.
Okay. So, that's a good point. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board with that one and maybe just forgive the folk bands from now on with the beards.
Please. There's plenty of folk bands with mustaches. At least a few.
Found it. Okay.
Why do you prefer a mustache to a beard?
It's that's a good question. I find it like the class is a lot bigger. It's more of a classy of
Not me.
no offense to you, but mustaches I find are classier.
Sure.
Just takes a little bit more to a little more time. Shows you care a little bit more about your face, right?
I think it's the exact, that's exactly it. In folk music, which is sort of, especially our brand of folk music is kind of rough and rowdy. It's like, I'd rather not put all that time and work into it and just, spend my time making music.
Okay. So, this summer, well, right now you're at the, in Sarnia, playing the beer show and playing the Good Things Village this evening. What's the plans for this summer?
Well, we got some tours we're going to do. We're heading out through the Maritimes for a few weeks in July, and then we're going to go through the Prairies in August.
Okay.
We'll be playing Turf in Toronto come the fall, and just hanging out, playing tunes, soaking up the sun.
We're still writing a lot for the next record we're going to be making, so always writing new tunes and playing them together, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, playing new songs at shows and gauging the audience's reaction. And
how do you approach writing music? Is it like a singular thing where somebody like comes up with an idea and this is how it's going to be, or is it sort of a group thing where you all jam out?
Generally, I'd say people, when we come up with a song, someone will write the song. All five of us in the band write, which is good.
Okay.
Someone will bring the song to a rehearsal and say, here's the tune, and we'll play through it together and make some changes or not. I don't think we really have any sort of set way that we do it. We come at it from all sorts of different angles, and sometimes we'll write a song together, sometimes I'll write one on my own, he'll write one on his own, and and then you bring it to the band and everyone adds their own little flavor, and you get a song.
Okay. So the band originally started with, was it 3 members?
There were originally 4 of us.
4, okay.
A guy who was not in the band anymore, and then we picked up Will and Rob, bass and electric guitar were the 2 most recent additions. But that was, I think, 3 years ago now, so we've had a pretty consistent lineup for a few years.
When you are writing music, is there a certain mood that you have to be in, or are you able just I want to write a song, or like that's your idea, is you're able to sit down and write it, or is there just that epiphany moment where it's just like, aha?
I think it could be anything. I mean, most of us keep in our phones a list of voice memos as well as just notepads on a line we really like or a melody we thought up that we like. And sometimes if we're pick a time to write a song together, we'll pull those out and play them for each other and see who likes what and maybe take one to write a song from. But other times, you just come home one night and you feel like, I have this feeling in me and I want to write it down, and sometimes that song is awful, sometimes it's great. There's really no way to tell. I think the biggest thing with songwriting is just, swing as many times as you can and eventually you'll hit one.
Okay. It's like that Wayne Gretzky quote, if you never try, you'll never actually do. That's not it, but it's good.
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, and so, if you guys got into a boat crash or your plane crash on like an island,
Okay.
and there's no food, and you had your last resort.
We'd eat Jim.
Yeah, we need Jim
Okay.
for sure. Who would we eat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, was that the
Jim.
question, really?
Although you got a lot of meat on
Yeah,
your
I have the
bones.
most meat, but
Yeah.
you'd have a hard time eating me.
We'd have a hard time just killing you, I think.
Well,
You're a
have
big
to,
guy.
You'd have to be very sneaky about it.
Sure. In this hypothetical, are we eating them alive or we're killing them first and then
It would be a kill first thing.
Yeah,
Kill first.
yeah.
Yeah.
Show
And there's
some
no
compassion.
opportunity for food on the land.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
It's a desert island.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there's no like pee filtration system like they
No
have.
pee filtration.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim.
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 Yeah, Jim.
Jim.
I'm a little scared how quickly you picked Jim.
Well, he's not our first banjo player. The first one, this exact same thing happened actually, so he's long dead.
This is the day after you killed him that you got rescued.
Yeah, holding auditions for new banjo player must be delicious. Or Craigslist ad.
If you had to describe your music or your set list as a mustache, what type of mustache would your set list be?
That's a good question. I would think maybe not quite a handlebar, but like a classic cowboy mustache. Kind of big, kind of burly, something you might catch some beans in if you're feeding yourself beans off an open fire.
Something that hasn't been trimmed really cleanly in like 2 to 3 days. So there might be the odd hair coming down, bugging you in your mouth.
But it still looks good.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah, also probably just scruff around as well. Sort of like this,
Yeah.
featuring a mustache.
Okay, so just a good mustache that's had a couple days to grow in around.
Yeah.
Can you with Photoshop put your mustache on my face? Is that doable?
We'll try. We'll both.
Okay, put his mustache on my face. Do it.
I don't want it. Don't give it to me.
Perfect. That looks great.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
If anybody wanted to, some reason their grandma was on their computer, accidentally downloaded an Ask Jeeves toolbar, and they wanted to find you guys, what's the best thing to put into Ask Jeeves to find you guys?
You would go to computer.com, and then after that you would go to www.unionduke.com. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, all of those places.
Okay. We'll have links down in the description of the video below, so you can check Union Duke out and their tour upcoming this summer and the
East and West.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Two directions.
That way and that way.
Well, it's like the band.
One direction,
But two
but
of
with
them.
two.
Well, this was Mustache on Music on Union Duke.
This all to mean anything. Seems that I loved you more than I could tell. I got you on my mind, I got you on